questions that you'd like to ask now. We've got probably about 8 minutes, and I'm happy to either speak to you live on the call, or I can take them from the chat, and Robin will pose those to me. So Robin, I am in your capable hands.
Fantastic. Right. Bring up my webcam. I think you can all see me there. Hello. So far so good. Really good session again, Sam. Not that I'm surprised. Let's see what we have coming through. Hopefully we can get a good mix of live questions and on the question pane. So it's still here. So somebody would just like you to just recap what attribution bias is. They missed it.
They missed it?
Yeah.
What were they doing? Making a cup of tea? Oh, I'd love a cup of tea. Attribution. So how you perceive your actions and those of others. So I do it this way. Why on earth are you doing it that way? So it's a bit like, a good analogy is shoes. So I've got a pair of shoes on and Robin has got a pair of shoes on, and they're just shoes, yeah? However, if we were to swap shoes, then our ability to walk to where we needed to go at the speed we wanted to go and run or jump or whatever would be compromised, and it'd also feel a bit weird. So it's about allowing people to do things in their own way without questioning it and trying to get them to do things like you. So my example was I'm a get in and fix it. If something goes on in our family abode, I get in and fix it, whereas my partner is far more play the long game. Just let it all calm down, just let it work itself out. So it's trying to stop making a sense of difference by putting a label on it and allow differences to be and be curious about it. So it's different people have different attributions to the same end.
Well, a good question here actually. Like the university example that you gave before, what should you do if someone underestimates you due to unconscious bias? How would you handle the university situation if it happened again?
Underestimating you. So my first question would be, what have they underestimated about you? And you don't have to chat back in this. Again, if you want to pick up some conversations afterwards, please link me in. I'm happy to do that. But this is great. What did they underestimate? And then what did they actually do? So get some facts down there about what actually happened rather than how you felt. We'll come to feelings are important, but they can override the facts of what happened. So what did they underestimate? What did they actually do? And then I want you to step back and become the observer of that interaction. So if you were to watch it in play, what advice would you give yourself that would show the version of you that you wanted to show? Now, there are some people that just, I'm going to be very careful what I say here, but there are some people, because of whatever's going on, they are not in a position to see anything else other than the bias that they have. And that is okay. The point is that you stick to the facts and you have your piece. So it's about acceptable and acceptance. I would then work out what it is that you wanted to show that was different, and depending on what the topic is, I would ask, if it was, I want to run through that. Just say, I'd really like to meet for a coffee. If there are a few things I want to talk through, is it an email? Is it a opportunity at the end of a class? But whatever it is in the past. It sounds to me, it sounds like it's historical and it's still with you now. I would choose to look at it, and I would choose to accept it as part of your story. And what are the things that you now know about yourself that you're proud of that you didn't do in that moment that you want to keep? And the rest of it is down to that individual. Let it go. It is taking up space. Don't paper over it. Don't keep carrying on that gut reaction, that fear, that alarm bell. Choose to let it go. But the facts are important first, because it sounds to me at the moment that we're still running those feelings. And in the situation you are now, is it really that valuable to you to have it still running as part of who you are? And again, specifics are really different when I can't do a two-way. So please, if you want to talk about that further, do link me in and we can have a chat.
Great, I hope that helps. That question. Who should I talk to if I feel I'm being affected by someone's bias? Somebody posed that question just before.
I am going to assume this is in work. And again, go back to the facts to start with. So what is the real things that are happening? I'm not discounting that it's actually happening. I mean, what are the facts that are happening? So what is the consequence of that bias? What is it costing and taking away? Once you've worked out what those facts are, I want you to then work through them and indicate what have got legitimate issues, so could cause legitimate problems in the future, and which ones are the ones that are upsetting you. And if they're upsetting you as far as your emotions, so it's an emotional clash, again, work through that. Where is that coming from? Because there's something going on there beneath the surface of your iceberg. So what are those things that are giving it texture almost? And then I would ask you to do a little bit of research into what support there is out there for you in your organisation. So who can you talk to? What is it you can do differently? And just do some, sometimes comfort in strangers really helps with this. I know that IGD have done a report, Robin, that's linked in here somewhere, isn't it, about inclusion?
It will be on when it goes live on the website, probably early next week. There'll be a link to the IND report that we did back in October.
Yeah, so again, there's something in there about the comfort of strangers, but really stick to of what is happening. What are the consequences? What is the thing that's going wrong? So that you then have got some reason that people can hear why you're raising it, which takes out the I and it puts it into this. Great. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. And then obviously if the person who asked the question does have any further follow-up questions on that, then I can forward that on.